What are you going to gain of value while you're dating other men that's going to be valuable to your husband?
Right. I understand what you're saying, but I don't date around, actually. That's the thing. Like, I don't date around because...
Oh, okay. Well, let's take it this way. You plan on not dating until you miraculously find your husband?
Until he finds me, yeah. Does that sound unrealistic?
Yeah, it really does. Because then where are your relationship? Hello?
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I look hit right now. Oh, my God.
How old are you?
I actually turned 21 in August.
All right. This might be a hard... You see the topic. But do you want to talk about the topic, or do you have a question?
I think I wanted to talk about the topic and then just like talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Because like my generation of guys, like they look up to you, and they look up to you because they think that you like bash women or whatever. And I just wanted to like see for myself. I really don't think you bash women. Like I think you actually are giving us like tips on like what we could do better, especially to like get a.
I got thousands of hours of content, so clips of me bashing women is often what is called being truthful. So no, if I bash women, people would come back consistently. But
right, exactly.
Do you want to be married?
I do actually. I do want to be married when I get older.
Children? Do you want children?
Definitely, I want 6 children. I know that's a lot. That's a lot,
6?
but I want a big.
Were your mother and father married?
Yes, they were.
So what do you mean when you get older?
So, like, in a perfect world, if everything, like, worked out the way I wanted it to, I want to be married at, like, 27. So, in about 6 years.
Why would you wait till 27?
The only reason I want to wait till 27 is because before I marry my husband, I really want to build, like, a steady friendship with him before just, like, jumping into marriage. And then on top of that...
Men and women really can't be friends like that.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the guy that I was just previously dating that I just got a relationship with, me and him were actually platonically friends at first, but then, like, you know, we ended up getting a relationship, so, you know, you're probably right, but...
You said have to build a steady relationship and then do what?
And then, like, be able to be married to him, because I want to build a friendship, and, you know, I want to be able to build that trust with him. You know what I'm saying?
How long do you think you need to be with somebody?
Yeah.
Before, 27, so how long do you think you're going to be with him before you get married? 3 years?
I want to be with him at least a year. At least a year.
So, young lady, 21, saying that she's been in a relationship before, platonic. But ended up, I guess, I'm assuming she's implying that they did have sex eventually. But you got 6 years ahead of you. And within these 6 years, it sounds like you just want to date some more, but I get what you're saying. You want to find a guy and you want to be friends with him and or have a sexual relationship, what have you, for at least a year. And if that happens this year or next year, I'm assuming you'd be open to that. But 27 is that magic number, which I think she might be taking that from some other people saying that in terms of 27 and whatnot. She's still early in the game and still trying to figure out what she wants. Hence, a lot of you guys have a difference. I have a difference of opinion from what Kevin is saying, but I understand where he's going at in terms of why women should marry earlier. But I feel like she could potentially end up in a situation like Jay, the young lady with the older guy. And whether it's an older guy or a guy your age, you could still end up in a situation like that where you really don't know. And that 1 year, I could see that's probably why she's saying that 1 year to see if this is really what I want. But still, I think she's right now still kind of young for that, in my opinion, at least.
So one of the problems we have more than anything else in the West is delayed marriage. Why, if you want 6 children, why would you wait till 27?
I know, and I think about that sometimes because I'm like, if I want 6 children, shoot, I really need to start right now.
What are you scared of?
The first thing I want to do before I get married is I want to get rid of my student debt. You know, I just graduated with my bachelor's like a couple of weeks ago. So, like, truthfully, I have about $34,000 of student loan debt, and I don't want to get into a marriage with my debt being his. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to have a clean slate. So that's what.
And it sounds like she's been listening to him for a while, as well as other, you know, she doesn't want the husband assuming the debt, even though $34,000 isn't really that much student loan debt. I've seen average client of mine is about 50,000, upwards of 150 to 200,000, but it's usually around 50,000. 34,000 in 6 years isn't really much unless you're just paying that $5 or $10. So that sounds like what it is. It's a combination of her saying she wants to pay that as well as date, and around 27 she should be ready.
What I'm waiting on, and finding that right person, or him finding me, because I'm not finding him. He's going to find me. So, yeah.
No.
Okay. Tell me what I said wrong.
This notion of clearing all your debt, life happens.
Uh-huh.
You notice these girls that talk like, I had another, and I'll link that. These young ladies that talk like that and have that bubbly attitude, they always do that thing with their tongue where, like what she's doing right now, and they lick their teeth when they're talking and stuff like that. Very bubbly, very pleasant young lady, but it just sounds like she's soaking up all this game, and she's like, I want to talk to you to show you what all I've learned from your channel.
I mean, do you live at home?
Yeah, my mom, like, we live together. We do, like, split the rent and stuff like that.
You live with your mother?
Actually, no, she lives with me. It's a long story. I don't want to put her
Where's your father?
out there. He lives in Indianapolis.
Did you say your mother and father were married, but they're not married anymore?
Yeah, they got divorced when I was like 7, I believe.
Is your mother in a relationship?
Not necessarily, but she's dating around. But she's not in a
All right, now it's starting to make sense.
Okay.
Because one, if you know you want to be married with kids, it's the sooner the better. What are you going to gain out here on the open dating market?
She's just putting her fairy tale out there, Kevin. I think that's all she's doing. This is a fairy tale that she's putting out there. Ideally, 6 kids, 27 years old, no debt, picket fence. My Prince Charming is going to, hey, I'm here, baby. I'm your Boaz. Will you marry me? Why, yes, Boaz, I'll marry you. And then the 6 kids come and live happily ever after. It's the fairy tale. You know what I'm saying?
It's going to be of value to your husband.
Like, what do I bring to the table? Is that what you're asking?
No. What I'm saying is, while you're out here dating, what are you going to gain of value while you're dating other men that's going to be valuable to your husband?
Right. I understand what you're saying, but I don't date around, actually. That's the thing. Like, I don't date around because...
Oh, okay. Well, let's take it this way. You plan on not dating until you miraculously find your husband?
Until he finds me, yeah. Does that sound unrealistic?
Yeah, it really does. Because then where are your relationship skills? It's a muscle. See, no matter how you slice it, no matter how you smile, fear and scarcity are motivating you. These are all fear-based decisions. Fear of debt, fear of this, fear of that. And I'm asking you, what do you want? You can find a possible suitable man right now. He may find you, but in your current state, fear and scarcity, you find a way to make it not work.
Right.
Why did women not wait? Nature is against you. I said this on YouTube last night. You want 6 kids, unless you want to be pregnant for 8 years in a row.
Yeah.
I think a lot of women, modern women, black women in particular, are scared of marriage.
Probably. But the thing is also with me, like, because I'm a very spiritual person, like, I'm a woman of God, like, I don't know what anybody else's is, but that's just, like, my background and my heart. And, the Lord has shown me, like, there is a lot more to life than just marriage, because I used to be, like, last year when I was around 19. Yes, because even though the Lord says, be fruitful and multiply, listen, even though the Lord says, be fruitful and multiply.
Who are you talking to before you get deep into this? You might want to back out of this one.
No, I don't want to back out. I want to, because you might educate me. You know what I'm saying?
Trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
When you be listening to these young girls talk, a lot of times even though she's coming, like, whether it's social media, or you just hear them on videos and stuff like that, they act like they have so much wisdom, like they're in their 60s, the way they talk, and like they have so much life experience, and they'll talk to an older guy in his face and make it seem like they know what's happening in this world. They know how things go based off of interactions with a few younger guys or a few pookies. They understand the nature of how things go, and it's funny a lot of times, and I'm just like, the things that you say is just like, are you serious right now? And you think that and they'll have 20, 30, 40, 100, 200 women agreeing with them. And it's just like, mine is blown, but that's the nature of it.
Area. A Christian woman? Mm-hmm. What was Eve's charge on the planet?
At first, it was to multiply and be.
What was her purpose?
Her purpose was to be a wife,
to be a helpmeet. That was her only purpose. Mm-hmm. As a Christian woman, your purpose on the planet is a Christian man.
Right.
So to tell me that the Lord has told you there's more to life than marriage, I'm sorry. That ain't even, go from Genesis on through. That ain't in the Bible. That's what y'all have made up.
Baby, tell them there's more to life than a husband. You got to turn up. You got to have kids. You got to look cute. You got to get some degrees, some student loan debt, and you have to live your best life. There's definitely more to life than a husband. Right.
Up.
Uh-huh. Now, what I mean by that is, like, marriage is important.
Anything that comes after, anything said before but is bullshit.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I was gonna say that the Lord showed, because I used to be very obsessed with, okay, I'm sorry about that, because my phone paused. Mm-hmm. I used to be very obsessed with, finding a husband and making sure that I'm perfect.
You don't find a husband.
Right.
You just turned 21, baby. You just turned 21. You're not 45.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I was blinded. I couldn't see because I was very obsessed with trying to make sure that I'm a wife. Mm-hmm.
Is your mother a Christian?
Yes, she is. Mm-hmm.
Okay. He will find that the wife finds the good thing and obtain the favor of the Lord. You become a wife first. Who's training you how to be a wife?
She was, because...
How can she train you how to be a wife?
Because she was a wife. She was great.
Was? Okay. Mm-hmm. And the women, and Ruth, the women of the village are to train the young girls. See, a lot of women today purport to be spiritual, and you substitute Jesus.
I'm sorry. Height, dress size.
And God as a placebo for your fear and scarcity. Truly Christian women, they're not going to sit back and say that there's other things to life other than marriage. Right. This is the way God designed it. Are you living? And I'm sad to say, so if you really want to go there, unless you're a virgin,
right.
Because if you have sex in your relationships, I don't want to hear about I'm walking with God.
Look, it says we've all fallen short of the glory of God.
No, that's bull. That's like my friends who are Catholic who think they can go cut a fool and go to confess and get it all done. That's bull. Seriously though, scarcity and lack, something's going on. Something's going on. But if you know you want to be married, it's time to start thinking about that now and making yourself a wife. Don't wait, because everything you talked about is this whole notion of he'll find me. No. You have to become a wife to be found.
Right. And I do want to say this, though. I do know that as far as, when it came to my previous relationship, unfortunately, there was infidelity. He cheated on me, whatever. But during that time, he did express to me that he wanted to marry me and that he did see a lot of wife qualities.
How old was he?
He was same age as me. He's going to be 21 in a couple of weeks.
Too young, man. He's too young.
You can't go off of what a child is telling you. A child can't tell you possess all the qualities of a wife, and he does want to marry you, and based off of a child telling you that, you feel like you bring a lot to the table because a child is telling you this. But obviously, in the midst of this child telling you this, according to you, he cheated on your ass. So, I digress though. Sorry.
Yeah, but no, he's too young. He can't support. He can't be a husband. He can't be a supportive wife. Young lady, I would just say this: women need to be under, in my opinion, especially men are looking for wives, are looking for women under some sort of discipline. Who's shepherding you through this process from a man's standpoint? Normally, in best case, it's your father, a pastor, somebody. But you can't be out here living in a worldly world, making spiritual decisions. You're going to be confused.
Right.
At the end of the day, if you're really going to say you're spiritual, your life, God did not take Adam out of the garden and just leave Eve. Her job was him.
Mm-hmm.
So, but all the best, young lady. See, I don't bash anybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, I mean, look, I know a lot of people don't want to hear the spiritual Christian stuff. Everybody don't believe what we believe. But here's the net of it. A lot of women want to be in relationships. They're just afraid. And why are women afraid? Because they've heard more women talk bad about men than they've heard talk good about men. If you hear more women talk bad about relationships, these men ain't shit, men are trash, men are this. What do you expect a young woman to think? That something good can come out of this? Unfortunately, ladies, you're going to have to overwrite that programming. Because it's not men's job, it's not men's responsibility to change your source code.
It's God's beat maker.
And I don't know. I will put a light in the sky for the G's that done turn memory from go. Blessings we send to the ghetto youth them.